my final speech, I'll be reading a letter to one of my dear friends, Reed. Reed, my friend, my theater colleague, my adventurer, my dreamer, my refuser of norms. To the girl who sits on desks in classes, mostly barefoot, to the one who asks the hard questions, to the teller of stories, to the engager of all around her, to the lover of friendship, and to the persuader of the misunderstanders. I miss you. I miss the laughter that we shared. I miss the sunsets we watched. I miss the irritation that drove us to create. I miss gallivanting through the tea fields in such a search of something beyond us. I miss the passion, the vigor, the blessed fire within your soul. I write to you as a fellow dreamer, someone who longs for change, as a fellow desirer for adventure and spontaneity, as a lover of hard work, and even more of the satisfaction that is aroused through it. I write to you because I believe that you can accomplish anything that you put your mind to. I truly believe this. Perhaps you know that I'm not one to give out shallow compliments or kind words for the sake of a momentary pleasure. When I say you can do anything, I believe it. In the spring of 2018, Sarah and I will set out on an incredible journey. You know that of which I speak. Hiking the Pacific Crest Trail will be the most wild adventure we've ever begun. Everything about it, the raw, icy winds, the sand-dry desert, the 30-mile treks, the lack of water, the hitchhiking into town, the blisters, the pack rash, the sheer length of it all. It is scary. Even the thought of completing such an adventure is absurd. Everything could go wrong. And perhaps what's worse is that the short list of difficulties above is actually not the scariest part. The deepest fear within us all is that of the unknown. This crushing doubt, this sweltering fear of that which is impossible to plan for. Of course, many will query, why would you do such a thing? They will say, you risk so much, or how is it responsible to go on such a journey into the unknown? And where will these finances come from? And how will you be sure you're safe? And they're right. But Reed, when they reach the end of their road, when they inhale one last breath, when their time here is done, they will not look back and remember that which they did. No, they will see all of the winding trails that they dreamed of wandering, but never set foot on. Our time here is so precious. I know I preach to the choir. But Reed, when you reach that moment, when you inhale one last breath, may you never remember all those empty winding trails. Instead, may you look back on all the paths that you set foot on. May you remember the times you stopped in the middle of the Mojave to look at the slowly fading horizon. May you remember the stark contrast of the cold that came with the night. May you remember the Sierra's icy-capped tops. May you remember the dancing in the cool waterfalls beneath their granite edge. May you remember falling asleep in the middle of Oregon to the sound of cicadas humming their lifelong melody. May you remember the way that the morning sun sent goosebumps up your spine as it warmed your waking body. May you remember Washington's evergreens and, most importantly, the smell of their needles. And may you remember stepping into Canada with all of America behind you and only 8 miles to the finish line. And Reed, if you only make it 2 miles on the entire Pacific Crest Trail, may you remember so many people who never even took the first step, and how much farther you went than all of them put together. I realize that I am biased in my writing. I would love to go on such a journey with you. But more than that, I want you to look back on your life and be satisfied with all the paths that you set foot on. The Pacific Crest Trail is just one of the many empty winding roads that might be inhabited. Indeed, there are many others that could bring you incredible joy in life. I only ask that you not make your decisions grounded in the fear that swamps us all. Its threat to drown your dreams will come true if you let it. Reed, I love you. I deeply value your friendship. You inspire me. Remember to love others so deeply that it hurts. And don't forget to be a kid sometimes. John